Hello everyone, welcome back. This is the second video of me going back and sharing aspects of my cancer, my breast cancer journey. And this video particularly is a celebratory video as I hit the 6-month mark of having my breast cancer surgery. So the tumor extracted from my body. And yes, I know I had breast cancer, but that doesn't mean that there isn't reason to celebrate, because let's take those moments for ourselves, right? So in addition to that, aligning with the anniversary of my tumor removal is also my 3-month anniversary of being on Tamoxifen, which, knock on wood, is going well, and I'm grateful for that. It is also a milestone in my family that my youngest just left for college, and so that's a change again in the household, as well as another big one, which is it's the 4-year anniversary of me publishing this book, The Spiritual Awakening of an Analytical Mind. So yes, I am going to lump all these things together for one big celebration, and I do have a little surprise for you as well. So before we begin, as a quick reminder, or if you are new to coming onto this channel, I am Tina, and I was diagnosed earlier this year with stage 1 invasive curable breast cancer. For multiple reasons, I not only chose the lumpectomy, but also a bilateral reduction while we're at it. And the pathology report that came back after surgery was that the margins on my tumor were clear, my lymph nodes that they took were clear, and I'm grateful for that each and every day. So that proceeded us to, let's see, healing, and then my oncotype DX score, I think I got it, came back low enough that it did not warrant me having chemo, which again, eternally grateful for that aspect. So I was able to skip right to radiation. My dosage for radiation was fractionated into 16 doses spread out over a 4-week period, and that ended. And of course, as if we know, there's a 2-week runoff of the symptoms that come after radiation. So I got through that bonus 2 weeks, we'll call it, and a few days after that, and I began Tamoxifen. And again, as I just mentioned a few minutes ago, I am now 3 months into my Tamoxifen, and I am going to continue to knock on wood that will continue to go well. I do have some little side effects, but nothing too tricky, nothing beyond what, quite honestly, perimenopause was throwing at me here and there. So yeah, that's a wrap. And as I mentioned last week, where I sit now is finding my new norm, and really allowing myself a moment for my mind and my spirit to catch up with what my body just went through, which I'm learning that we do need to allow that space as well. So that's a wrap there. I thank you so much for coming on here and joining me. I send love to all of you who may be walking this path and having your own challenges along the way. Also, if you haven't already, I would really appreciate if you would think about subscribing to the channel. It at least gives me a little indication if it makes sense to continue these videos or not. So just know that I appreciate you out there. Okay, let's kick off our celebration with celebrating that I am 6 months post-surgery at this point. The day the tumor was extracted, and quite honestly, I feel very far removed from that right now, but on most days. But then sometimes I'm reminded, because there's a little, the incision will sting, or there's a tweak from the scar tissue, or my arm mobility is a little stiff, or yesterday the radiation oncology team called to tell me or remind me that I have an appointment next week with them. So yeah, we're reminded. Although we'd like to bury it over here and be like, we got through it, we don't have to look at it again. It is something that we're gonna have to incorporate into our world, and I know that. But today I celebrate this milestone that tumor was removed, pathology was all clear, and now I know in my pocket I have the wisdom, the knowledge from that experience, and maybe it'll come in handy in some way down the road. So to celebrate, it wasn't a big celebration. It was an overdue celebration for certain, but I went and I got new bras. Actually, I have one on right now. I'm test driving a couple. So, I can't speak just from a mastectomy standpoint. I can't speak just from a lumpectomy standpoint, but I feel like what is determining what I do for bras is really based off from the reduction, which is not a cancer related issue. It's the incision that goes right across underneath both breasts. And if a band, and I haven't worn wires in a long time, but if a band lands on there, it kind of irritates it. And you see me adjusting myself. And I get caught sometimes and get the little weird eye, because I do touch my breasts more anyway now than I did in the past. So I went in and I found a couple bras that I chose a couple different sizes. So again, I'm test driving them now to see which I'm going to do. I think I'm leaning towards the bigger one because it just gives a little more room. It doesn't rub up underneath here at my incisions. So, sometimes it's perspective. The smaller things in life can make us happy. And as I was thinking through this, is there anything I would have done differently when it comes to this aspect? And sure, there's small things along the way, not just from surgery, but the other things. But at the end of the day, I am going to go ahead during the celebration time and pat myself on the back as to how I handled, how I walked this little detour that life threw at me. Because yeah, we can be proud of ourselves sometimes. And so I'm going to add that to my celebratory pot that I'm mixing up. And with that, I want to share the second bit of celebration with you because it has an impact on you, or potentially could have an impact on you as well. So the second thing that I want to celebrate or share with you is the 4-year anniversary of this book, The Spiritual Awakening of an Analytical Mind, as I mentioned. So give me 1 minute, don't turn me off yet. Let me explain. So the significance is because this was really a monumental experience, not only writing it, but in the vulnerability of publishing it and the contents of it. So the contents of this book are really ultimately what prepared me to walk this cancer journey the way that I walked it, and how I will proceed with my life going forward as well. So in celebration of both things, that I'm grateful that I had this experience prior to walking the cancer, and then you get the anniversary. What I have decided to do, and what I have done, I guess, is I have decided to put the book, the text of the book, onto Substack to share for free. And when I did this, I was really thinking of all of you folks. So, I'm not real techy, so you got to be patient with me here for a second. It was kind of in the theme of these videos, which is if it could help someone else, this is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to get into for you to access the text in just a moment. But first, yay! I'm so excited to share this all with you. So, because I guess in this moment, it just feels like this is the right thing to do. Okay, I'm going to give you a quick rundown, I promise very quick, of how this book came to be and why it may be beneficial to you, depending on where you are in your journey of things as well. So 10 years ago, I went through a divorce. It kind of rocked me to my core, but what it also did was it kind of shot me onto this path of self-discovery. And in the process, I did a lot of self-healing, a lot of growing, a lot of looking at things from different perspectives, of letting go, and a lot of recovering myself, or finding out who I actually was. And along the way, I kept kind of feeling the urge to write this book as a guide for people like me, people who may come from a more of a, I guess, analytical mind or mindset. So as an aside, I come from 30 years in the corporate insurance field, as well as probably 20 of those years in real estate investing and sales as well. So very linear path for certain on that. So if you've watched these videos so far, hopefully you've seen how I handled things. Cancer didn't own me. For the most part, I took it one step at a time. And when I didn't, I had my panic attack, as I talked about in one video. I set very clear boundaries as to how I wanted my journey through this to go. Now, was I perfect? Of course not. No, none of us are going to be perfect, but I am extremely grateful that I had 10 years of kind of getting myself together before cancer hit. I honestly believe that I would have had a vastly different experience had I not been traveling this path ahead of time. I also believe that it is worth sharing the tools that benefit me, and they are what I discuss in this book. Is it all-encompassing? Certainly not. Am I a guru? Certainly not, nor should you follow anybody that says they are. That's just my personal opinion. And although the book is not geared toward the cancer community per se, it's geared toward, just self-discovery and transformation. I was reminded that my very first book talk when the book came out was to a group of cancer survivors or cancer patients and caregivers. And at the time, it felt a little bit overwhelming that I didn't feel that I was in a place that, why would they listen to me, kind of thing, a bit. But I get it now, and maybe it was some foreshadowing as well. So that's why, I guess, it seemed appropriate to kind of combine, let alone the anniversaries just lining up as well, combine the celebration of being cancer-free with the anniversary of this book, and coupling that with offering it for free to people. And honestly, it's probably going to be people that I direct to Substack who find it. So feel free to share this with anybody that you may think may like the book or could benefit from it as well. Because in the end, traveling such a path for me for those 10 years, like I said before, really paved the way for an easier kind of cancer path, I guess, for me and the experience of it. And for that, I'm grateful, and for that, I celebrate. So let's get into how to access this for you. So how do you access the book? Through Substack. So if you're like me, you may not know Substack. I just literally got on it in the last couple months as I was thinking through this, that I want to share it out here with you. So I guess first, what I am doing is putting it out on Substack, and Substack is a newsletter that's going to come via your email. I am putting a chapter out each week. So as I sit here today recording this, I have done an explanation, was week 1. Week 2 was the introduction of the book. Week 3 was chapter 1. Week 4 was chapter 2. Now, once you subscribe, you're going to be able to access those past things. So don't feel that if you watch this a year from now, you're not going to be able to access it. You'll have, I guess we'll call it the archives of what I have posted on Substack. Now, in order for you, since I don't have your email address, to do it, you do have to go onto Substack and subscribe. My handle, I don't know what it's called, is at Tina L. Moody, and I'll put that right here. And you just go in and hit subscribe, and you provide your email address. Boom. And the next time that I send a post, it will go straight to your email. If you want to go in and see the archives, you'll have access to that. So that should be simple enough. If that feels a little outside your comfort zone, you can also do this. Go to my website, which is right here, tinalmoody.com. Go to the Contact Us or Contact Me page, and it will have you, I think you just put in your name and your email, and then just under the comments say, please subscribe me on Substack, or however you want to phrase it. And I believe I can go on and add your name. to it. So then you don't have to do anything. Every Tuesday is when I post. You'll get the email. So those are those two options. And I'm thrilled. No, it's not the hard copy book, but it is the text of the book. And I hope that you can, if you do it, that you find some benefit in it and remain open-minded as well. Now, if you are a person like me who really likes to get your hands on a book, that is an option too, but this one is not free, and you can get it. You can go on to my website, which is atinalmoody.com. You can order it there. I tried really hard to keep the price low. I went the lowest amount that they suggested. So it's $14.95 plus shipping. So you're probably looking at about $20. Although I need to update shipping because prices keep going up. And you can order it that way. It is on Amazon with the book and with Kindle. However, if you order it through Amazon, it's my publisher's who's fulfilling the order, and Amazon's going to take 40% of it. Where if you order it through me, then that doesn't go to them, and I can sign the book if you want as well. So there's that, and it's going to come in the same amount of time, and they're both going to have shipping charges to it. So not a sales pitch at all, because you're getting it for free. But if you do want a hard copy, know that it's available there. And I think that's it. I'm really, really excited to share with you. Thank you for joining me in my celebration this month, which was just full of all kinds of anniversaries. And, thanks for watching today, or whenever you should watch this. I always appreciate it so much. And as always, be well, keep stepping forward, and please take very good care of yourselves. Sending love your way. Thank you.